What's up, guys? That Really Ghost Guy here, and we are back playing Warframe. So we are jumping into the second tier of the Pacifist Defect mission, and I had to do it. I knew that this was going to be a little bit overpowered, but I figured I might as well test it out and see what you guys think. Ember Prime, she can probably run this mission very easily. What do you guys think? How do you think Ember Prime fares in this mission? Because I've already done, holy cow, how have I gotten all this stuff so far? Is there a Necros? No, there's another Ember in here. Okay, so what do you guys think about, how easy would this be running, like, 4 Embers? If you were to run 4 Embers, maybe 2 on, 2 off when it comes to World on Fire so they can get their energy and stuff back. What do you guys think? You guys think that's a little bit overpowered? I mean, because a lot of people were talking about the struggle of getting the Ignis Wraith, and is this just the surefire way to do it? Is just to load up on 4 Embers? Or is there something I am not aware of yet when it comes to doing the Tier 3 edition of this mission type? Is there a reason why this won't work? Is 4 Embers not going to work? Now, granted, there are only 2 Embers, I think, in this lobby. But I'm just saying. Is it plausible to run 4 Embers and just breeze through this mission type? Because, I mean, this is only the first couple guys. But it definitely looks like this is going to be very simple. I think there's only 2 of us. Because there's a Nova. There's a Nova Prime. And speaking of Nova Prime, yeah, and a Volt Prime. So speaking of Nova Prime, if she puts down her wormhole, I don't know if you guys know this, but they mentioned this in Prime Time, and you can warp or wormhole the defectors through the wormhole. So if you could get multiple Novas using their wormhole thing, you could potentially, like, fast pace blast the defectors through the mission. I was just reading what they said in chat. They said something about don't let the Ospreys drop the life support. I don't know exactly what they meant by that. Don't slow them down. Let the Ospreys bring the fuel. Oh, okay, yeah. I was talking about the Nova slowing the enemies down, because we want to get these life power cells closest to these life support pods as possible. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I always forget that I got that thing going. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the 2 of us. Now, there might be a point in time where I skip ahead to later on in the game. Just curious as to how well are we gonna do, and if it's gonna be like a 40-minute episode, I'm definitely gonna cut it down to where sorry, I was just just trying to pay attention to where everybody went off to. But yeah, I'll cut this down to a shorter episode if that happens, if it goes way too long. But I am curious to see how Embers might be able to just breeze through this. We got some guys coming now. Very cool. Pick these guys off pretty easy. My Latron's not so bad. Latron is actually a fairly decent weapon, but single fire is not for everybody, so not to mention, I don't think it's not amazing, but it's definitely not an awful weapon. Let me pick up the power cells. Okay. Cool. Yeah, see, if they were to go through this wormhole, I think, did these 2? I think those 2 may have actually like walked through the wormhole and it may have worked. Not to mention, Volt is also going to town on the speed ability, and these guys are sprinting. These guys are sprinting through the mission. But let's try and... Well, actually, I don't know if they are. I don't know if they get boosted by his speed, but... With the embers kind of hanging out with them, keeping these guys alive, that would probably work really, really, really well. So, we'll see. We'll see. Does everybody have full health? Doesn't matter. They already pushed it. But that's something you want to make sure. But I'll run with them as much as I possibly can to kind of keep these guys alive, because this world on fire is just going to be like the perfect escort for these guys. So, what do you guys think? Do you think this is like the perfect setup? Is to keep like a couple embers, a Nova. I don't know exactly, you know, other than her wormhole, I don't know if she really benefits in other ways. And then Volt can keep us fast, but I don't know if he boosts their speed. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would be the perfect four-man squad for this mission? I loved Vauban. I went with Vauban earlier with some other players, and I mean, I'm currently mastery rank 19, almost 20, but I jumped in a public match, and there was like a 13, 12, and like a 7 were the other players. Then that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. It just, they may not have as much experience, and we pretty much breezed through. I think we got up to like 58 or so extractions. And I don't think I ever died once, but the other players were starting to get to the point where they weren't doing enough damage, or they weren't able to kill the infested fast enough. So that started to become the problem. But other than that, it felt like we breezed right through it, because Vauban, with his Bastille and his Vortex, being able to like lock down a small area. That's one thing I would do, is if there was like a choke point right here, I'd throw a vortex down here, and anything trying to come through the door would just get stuck. Bastille works pretty much in the same way, just in a very large area. Nova, try your teleport to make them move faster. Yeah, if Nova is aware that is possible. Nova is mastery rank 23, so... Not saying that they, you know, it's another one of those things. It actually does work. Yeah, see? It moves them, but they don't move fast. Yeah. Yeah, the other guy, I think Nova knew that, but the Volt actually was not aware of that. But yeah, that is a thing. That is definitely a thing. It'd be a good place to put it. Like here, is right around this corner, put a wormhole facing like the rampart or like the wall or whatever. That would be a quick boost. Even from like here to there, or if you aim it at the ground, that would be a good spot. Obviously, these big long tunnels, if you can get it from this door all the way down to that door, that's a huge, like, that's a lot of ground they could cover. I probably should get back closer to these guys. Should I... We got some coming to B and C, Bravo and Charlie. I'll move over by the Nova. Actually, I'm going to move over by the Volt. I feel like Nova, if she really needs to, could slow down the infested and keep them at bay, keep them from killing these guys. Volt doesn't have as much of that crowd control, so I think I'm going to stick with Volt when it comes to that. Oh man, I am not running low on energy whatsoever either. This is fantastic. But I'm gonna move up and move out with these guys. They seem to be doing all right. Seem to be doing just fine. And the best thing to do is to move all of these guys at once. Is to get both Bravo and Charlie to merge, and then move all 10 guys, especially like if we're running these embers. It's fantastic. Great way to go. Let me actually go grab this real quick. Get this loaded up on a little bit more. Alright, so let's let's aid these guys to extraction. And at this point, I might cut once we get these guys extracted, because a lot of this is just going to be the slow progression of pushing guys to extraction over and over and over again. So, and I'll let you know when we are, you know, getting close to extraction, and we'll see where we left off. Also keep in mind in Tier 2 that Sargus Ruck will send after the Manic, so just be aware of that. That is, that can be potentially harmful, especially if you don't have like a full-fledged squad together. Looks like they all made it out. Excellent. So yeah, that Manic can be a little bit of a nuisance, especially if you are soloing this all the way through. I do play most of my missions solo. However, I have basically decided against it because, honestly, as much as I enjoy doing my solo stuff, if I ever want to get the Ignis Wraith, or I don't know, just the enjoyment out of this mission in general, I feel like is at its peak when you are running with a really good squad. I would love. That's why, like, some of my subscribers that I tend to run with, I'm super excited to continue doing that and running with some more of you guys, because I'm eager to get to do some of these missions in squads and have some, you know, some setups or some you know, like I said, like a unified squad that knows each other well enough that we can run missions like this and just know what each other is doing, stuff like that. That's also why I would love to collab with YouTubers maybe in the future. Maybe during TennoCon, I might meet one or two other YouTubers, and if they're down, I would love to run some missions with some people. I don't know, there's that camaraderie that's really cool, especially when you run, you know, like missions like this, 4-man, you know, squad type things, and especially because this is very team-based, team-oriented kind of a mission, so it works out really, really well. But so far, we are not struggling. So like I said, I think I'm going to cut at this point, and I'll let you know when we're closer to extraction. All right, guys, so at this point, I'm going to pick up here. Unfortunately, it looks like well, there's a lot of movement going on. Somebody already wants to leave, even though I don't really think we need to. One problem we were having is some of the guys were moving people too soon. If you move your guys, just as a heads up, if you move your guys while they're injured, you are much more likely to lose guys on the way there. Kind of a given, but it doesn't look like everyone is aware of that. Two of these guys are already at extraction, but let's see if I can at least keep these guys alive on the way there. See if I can at least turn these couple guys to fight each other. Maybe they'll distract each other long enough. This guy is going to possibly die. Yeah, so we do need to get out of here. 30 seconds left. That became our problem, and it became a problem really, really fast, is while I was running players back and forth to each other, or back and forth from point to point, they were rushing the defectors too fast, and by the time they were able to get to the life support pods, they were fairly injured, and at that point they started just rushing them, trying to get them to extraction, but it's not really a good way to go, in my opinion. Some of the guys were also going down, needing revives, and because we were split up into 2 groups, actually technically 3 groups, because there were guys at Bravo, there were guys at Charlie, and I tend to run back and forth doing extractions. Same with I think it was the other Ember that was kind of doing the same thing. The problem is they would get pushed through the doors, pushed our way very, very quickly, and by the time they got to me, and I met them halfway, they were all injured. So that's one thing to avoid. But a pretty successful mission, 108 score. We did lose all 10 of those guys pretty much on the last wave, which sucks because that killed us by 20 mission score. But lots of credits, lots of endo. I got a ton of endo out of that. But yeah, let me know what you think about this whole Ember way of going about it. I think it's a great way to do it, to be completely honest. If you ran 4 Embers, oh my goodness, I don't even know how long I could go. Probably forever. But anyways, what are we at? Okay, I still need to get up to 250. I'm at 207. I'm just going to get up to the 3rd tier myself, and then maybe we'll talk at the 3rd tier and do another video. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Blah!